2011 offered a variety of genres that would later come to define the cinematic landscape that we inhabit today, with the conclusion of some of the great franchises of the early 2000s and the early stages of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was a year that produced a black and white period piece that would later go on to win big at the Oscars, and so many actors whom we've previously associated with comedy make leaps into dramatic roles. Here are 11 films from 2011 that you should watch. Drive by Nicholas Winding Refn. A hyper-stylized depiction of Los Angeles serves as the setting for Nicholas Winding Refn's Drive, the brutal story of a mysterious Hollywood stuntman and mechanic, played by Ryan Gosling, whom at night works as a getaway driver and finds himself in trouble when he helps out his neighbor. The film is a great balance of style and substance, masterfully directed by Refn, never shying away from the director's trademark ultra-violence. With top performances from the likes of the previously mentioned Gosling, Bryan Cranston, Carey Mulligan, and Oscar Isaac, this is really amongst Refn's great movies. Midnight in Paris by Woody Allen. Woody Allen's 42nd film in the director's chair, Midnight in Paris plays as a love letter to the city of light, old-time jazz and swing, and the literature and art that defined the early 20th century. In the film, a nostalgic screenwriter, played by Owen Wilson, finds himself mysteriously going back to the 1920s every day at midnight. The film's pacing and storytelling make it feel like we're going to the past alongside with our protagonist, making this a unique movie watching experience. Warrior by Gavin O'Connor. With a powerful emotional core and amazing fight sequences, Warrior follows Tommy Conlon, played by Tom Hardy, the impulsive and violent son of Paddy Conlon, played by Nick Nolte, an alcoholic former boxer. Tommy comes back home to be trained by his father for an MMA tournament. This return causes him to clash with his older brother Brendan, played by Joel Edgerton, a down-on-his-luck school teacher whom also has a fighting background. This is one of the best sports movies of the 21st century, in no small part due to Hardy's frantic performance, contrasting against Edgerton's more collected, struggling character. With a great story that tackles the themes of regret, dysfunctional father-son relationships, and fight against the odds and still overcoming them, Warrior is an immensely underrated film and one of the best of 2011. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by David Fincher. Coming from his great success with The Social Network, Fincher gives us an adaptation of the Stieg Larsson novel. The film sees journalist Michael Blomkvist, played by James Bond actor Daniel Craig, teaming up with a young hacker named Lisbeth Salander, played by Rooney Mara, in his search for a woman who's been missing for 40 years. The story's nihilistic themes fit in perfectly with Fincher's stylish, cold directing, making for a film that is at times hard to watch, but darkly intriguing all throughout. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 by David Yates. Bringing a fitting end to perhaps the biggest movie franchise of the early 2000s, The Deathly Hallows Part 2 sees Harry, Ron, and Hermione in search for Voldemort's remaining Horcruxes in an effort to destroy the Dark Lord, bringing it all to a cataclysmic final battle at Hogwarts. Arguably being the second best installment in the whole series, The Prisoner of Azkaban being the first, this movie feels darker than its predecessors, making the stakes considerably higher and bringing on a sense of doom that looms over the entire film, while also being filled with heartwarming moments and ultimately a final scene that sums up perfectly a saga that spanned a decade. Haywire by Steven Soderbergh. One of the best choreographed and shot action films of the 21st century, Steven Soderbergh's Haywire follows a Black Ops super soldier who seeks payback after she is betrayed and set up during a mission. The film is intense and incredibly stylish, under Soderbergh's keen eye for scene blocking and casting, bringing to the fold A-class actors like Channing Tatum, Michael Douglas, Ewan McGregor, Antonio Banderas, and Michael Fassbender in one of his lesser-known performances. Paul by Greg Mottola. Bringing the comedic duo of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost together for the third time in their careers, Paul tells the hilarious story of Graham and Clive, played by Pegg and Frost, two sci-fi geeks traveling the US while on vacation, when they come across an alien that just escaped Area 51. With an unhinged voice performance by Seth Rogen as the runaway alien Paul, and some of the dynamic duo's funniest bits, this movie plays both as an homage to classic sci-fi and a great road trip adventure. With amazing supporting performances by Kristen Wiig, Bill Hader, Sigourney Weaver, and Jason Bateman, Paul definitely is one of the funniest and more original films of the 2010s. Killer Joe by William Friedkin. As starkly comical as it is brutal and vulgar, William Friedkin's Killer Joe is one of the best films of 2011, and one of The Exorcist's director's best films since the 1970s. The movie sees Chris, a Texan drug dealer who finds himself in considerable debt and decides the only solution is to murder his mother to collect the insurance money. Getting together with his father, the ex-husband of Chris's mother, they decide to hire Joe Cooper, a contract killer who also happens to be a police detective. McConaughey takes a somber turn as the Killer Joe, given one of his best performances in the early stages of The Great Reconnaissance, displaying his tremendous range and helping to bring out the best of his supporting cast, that includes the likes of Juno Temple, Emil Hirsch, and Thomas Hayden Church. Killer Joe is one of the best crime films of 2011, and another massively overlooked gem from the 2010s. X-Men First Class by Matthew Vaughn. The first entry in the X-Men prequels, First Class takes a look back at the origins of Charles Xavier and Eric Lenchner and their search for other mutants like them. The fact that the film takes place in the 60s gives it a fresh twist, making it different from its contemporaries, and the brilliant casting of James McAvoy as Professor X and Michael Fassbender as Magneto, with excellent supporting roles from Jennifer Lawrence and Kevin Bacon, elevate the film to another level, giving the X-Men universe a stylish, confident start that introduced new generations to these great characters. Coriolanus by Ralph Fiennes. In his directorial debut, Ralph Fiennes adapts this epic Shakespeare play that tells the tale of Coriolanus, played by Fiennes himself, a banished hero of Rome whom allies with a sworn enemy, played by Gerard Butler, to take his revenge on the city. Fiennes chooses to set the film in present day instead of the original ancient Rome setting from the play. This gives the story a more current and gritty tone, allowing the movie to showcase the director's unexpectedly good eye for action sequences. This includes a gripping fight scene between Fiennes and Butler. The whole cast brings their A game, making this fierce movie one of the best film adaptations of the Bard's work. The Raid Redemption by Gareth Evans. This Indonesian set film by British director Gareth Evans might very well be one of the best action films of the 21st century, alongside John Wick and Taken, with the claustrophobic story of a SWAT team that gets trapped in a tenement building run by a ruthless mobster and his army of killers and thugs. The movie's main attraction are undoubtedly its masterfully choreographed fight sequences, and its grim tone and frenetic pacing serve both as an homage to old kung fu flicks and to make the film feel current and original. For these movies and more, 2011 has gone down as a year of great, very diverse films. This is a movie channel for movie people. We will be uploading a new video each week. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our previous video and consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you for watching.